Hey, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. And today I want to answer a very simple question. What the heck is e-commerce? Okay, so if you've never watched one of my videos before, I put out a lot of content when it comes to Kickstarter, Indiegogo, e-commerce, creating new products, selling those products online, and also do some fun videos every once in a while, showcasing you some stuff from my personal life, right? So with this channel, my idea is to demystify multiple different types of industries for you, but there's usually a focus on getting the products out there to people. So today, I want to answer this question for you. What is e-commerce? For someone who has never sold a product online, what is e-commerce? How does it work? What do you need to get started in this industry? And if you ever do want to start a business someday, I think this video will help clue you into that. E-commerce is super simple. Anytime that you're shopping on Amazon, anytime that you're shopping online and buying a product of some kind from a Shopify store or a website that you stumbled on, if you buy new camera gear, if you buy anything online, you're already participating in e-commerce, right? You're buying something online, someone around the world got your order, they placed the order maybe with their fulfillment company or they're fulfilling it themselves. They ship the product to you, you got it on your doorstep, you open it up, and then you have a product, right? That's really just the supply chain. That's how it works. Anytime that you're buying something online, you are already participating in e-commerce. But here's the thing, you're participating on the demand side of the equation. By that I mean, like, you're the one who's buying the product. You're the one who's making up the demand for the product. You're not the one who's selling it, right? So you're already participating in e-commerce. You're just participating at the customer level. Now, one of the realizations that a lot of people have is, what if I participated at the other side? What if I actually created and sold my own product, or even just retailed and sold other people's products online? And instead I went from being a consumer to being a producer. And when you have that kind of a light bulb moment, like, look at all these amazing products that are just surrounding me right now, and whether it's a bookcase or whether it's a pillow or a plant or a microphone, all of these were created by people, were packaged by other people, were sold in either physical stores or online. When it comes to this, there's no reason that you literally cannot do the exact same thing. Own your own virtual online shop where you sell products to the public, and then you're able to profit from them and have that supplement either your lifestyle or one day replace your full-time job income. So this is an entire career, an entire niche or market, if you want to put it that way. Now, when it comes to e-commerce, right, online commerce, probably one of the bigger things that keeps people back is knowing how to create a website or knowing how to list products online. There are a few other things as well. One might be, for example, knowing what to sell, right? What the heck am I gonna sell, depending on what my skill set is. If I'm a designer, maybe I wanna create my own product, right? If I'm an innovator, maybe I wanna come up with my own invention. If I'm not, maybe I just wanna retail other products that are out there and sell them online under my brand name. The way that a deli, if you go to New York City, you go into a deli, they're selling a bunch of products there. They didn't obviously invent those products. They're buying them wholesale, buying them in bulk, and then selling them to you, the end customer. And when their inventory turns over, then they make a profit, right, of whatever the profit margin is for those different products. And some products might have a higher profit margin than others. So there are different models, right, when it comes to e-commerce. And sort of the beginning point is to figure out what is holding you back. If it's the website, knowing how to sell, we can talk a bit more about that. For example, being able to sell via Amazon, being able to set up your own online store using a tool like Shopify, which I will link to down below, using other tools like WordPress and WooCommerce, which is a little bit more, I'd say, advanced than Shopify. You could technically use Squarespace if you want to, or Wix as a way to set up an online store. So there are a lot of ways in which you can do this. I'd say of my ones, probably Shopify and Wix e-commerce would probably be my favorite of tools that you can use to set up a new online store. But that being said, you can also put your products in different marketplaces. So you could technically sell your product on Amazon, right? You could sell it on other marketplaces that are out there. So it's not just, you could sell on Etsy, for example. It's not just limited necessarily to your own website. So the first thing is, like, you have any kind of reservations about setting up the online store, that's not necessarily super difficult. Like, you can get help with that. You can reach out to me. You know, there are a lot of ways in which to get this thing going. You should know there is a predefined, already figured out solution for setting up an online store, as well as the branding of it, making it look nice and pretty and well designed, and something that you want to introduce to your friends, your family, and your local community. When it comes to what you want to sell, I find that to be a little bit of a bigger sticking point for most e-commerce entrepreneurs. In terms of what you want to sell, man, what you want to sell to the world, right? There are a few different things, but I think the biggest one is to ask yourself what your skill sets are and what your inclination is, right? So if you don't have any interest in creating your own product, if you're not a designer or interested in coming up with a new idea or that kind of stuff, watching some of the other videos I got out there on my YouTube channel as terms of how to do that, then that's probably obviously not going to be the best route for you to go down. I usually recommend that route if you really want to create something original in the world, you want to make an impact on the world, you want to make a bunch of money, you know, if it goes really well, and you want to basically bring something that's never been existent before and to build a brand out of that, to build a company out of that, which is extremely exciting. I think if you look up to shows like Shark Tank, that might be a really good one for you to begin to move into that direction a little bit more. And thankfully, there are tons of websites and platforms out there like Indiegogo and Kickstarter, which can help you pre-sell that product to recoup some of your costs in the early days of it. And that's kind of my specialty, honestly. So when it gets to other types of products, let's just say that you don't want to create your own product, right? If you're like, I do not, Sal, I do not want to make my own product. Okay, I understand you. You probably have other skill sets though. You might be interested in the marketing side of the equation. You might be better at logistics and like figuring out where you're going to buy the products from, right? You might be a good numbers oriented person, or maybe you just want to try and dip your toes into it and see, I don't know yet what I'm interested in, but I want to try this out. There are a few different ways in which you can do it. So first of all, if you are more interested in wholesaling, like in drop shipping and buying a bunch, not buying like so much inventory, but buying like a few and seeing whether or not it sells, you could look at sites out there like Alibaba. You know, this is a really common search term here when it comes to YouTube, when it comes to online marketing. You're probably gonna get like bombarded with lots of education information on how to source a product, to do a drop shipping store, to get it from Alibaba, to sell it for really cheap online. You know, but honestly, the problem with this is that it's very easy to do, which means that a lot of other people are also doing it. So there's one thing that you should be aware of there. The other thing would be, you know, participating and finding other products that are out there that are willing for you to white label them, that are willing for you to retail them on your own store of some kind and maybe brand them a little bit differently, right? So that is another option as well when it comes to not necessarily creating your own product, but selling other people's products in that way. Another one that's kind of like in the same vein would be thinking a little bit about subscription-based e-commerce marketing, which is becoming a bigger thing, which is where rather than just selling one product to the end consumer, you're selling like a subscription base where you're sending them new stuff every single week, and it's more like a package of goods, right? So that you're sampling a lot of different types of products. That way you maybe have a partnership with some of these other ones, right? So there's some different areas of gray, I would say, within this. But one of the commonalities is that if you identify you don't want to make your own product, then you're probably going to play more so the role of marketer, right? You might become an affiliate marketer. That's really honestly what I would lump a lot of these other categories into, is really just affiliate marketing. Recommending products. If you want to, you could even sign up for an affiliate account if you want to with Amazon, and just to get your toes wet, try that out and see if you get any money from recommending products. You also now have the Instagram shop feature where you can list products that are available for sale via Instagram if you're also selling it on your website. So there's a lot of easy places, I'd say, to get started there. Most of these bigger name influencers, for example, like fitness influencers and beauty influencers, they're not usually creating their own product. They're probably just selling other people's products, and usually a brand approaches them and asks them to do that, and that's kind of how they set up with e-commerce that way. The final part of e-commerce is where your foot traffic is going to come from. Going back to the normal life, everyday example, if you own a storefront in a small suburban area, local community, your foot traffic is really determined by the people that are driving past on the highway, right? Or if you're in the downtown area, the people that are walking by that street. That is your foot traffic. And that's really what you might consider to be your potential customers, your potential prospects, the people that are going to see the outside of your store and decide whether or not to go and enter that and consider buying one of your products, right? How does that work in the online world? Well, it's basically your website. Your website is your online storefront. Your website is the same thing, this accomplishes the same job as a physical storefront in the real world, right? So if you go to the online storefront, people are going to be checking it out. They're going to be browsing through your online category, your inventory, the stuff that you're selling. They might get a sense of your pricing, how it looks, how it feels, and eventually they're going to make a purchasing decision based on that information. The question is, where does the foot traffic come from, right? Because in the real world, foot traffic is based on real estate. It's based on where you are. If I'm in Manhattan and I'm on a really busy street, I have very good real estate, right? I have a lot of foot traffic, so it's tied to where I am. Same thing goes if in the suburbs, you're in a really popular area, let's just say where a lot of people are driving by on the highway and they see your sign, a lot of them eventually decide to stop in and go into your store, right? The foot traffic is based on real estate, right? So your traffic is heavily dependent on real estate. Now there are other things you can do. You can have a flying banner in the sky, right? You can put out brochures. You can try to spread the word throughout the local community in different ways to sort of funnel foot traffic to your store. But at the end of the day, it's really determined based on real estate. People aren't gonna go far way off to a store that's like super far out of their way. It's gonna be something that's within reasonable distance. When it comes to the online world, that's all turned on its head because there is no like real estate. The main real estate is number one, people that are searching for something on Google, for example. So if I search like a new fitness product or a new chair that's good for my back, right? It helps me with my spine and making sure I have good posture, I might type that into Google. That would be one. What would be another one? Maybe I would type that into YouTube, reviews of great chairs that are out there. What are some other ways that I might discover my products? Well, it might be via Facebook, right? If I'm scrolling on Facebook and a friend recommends something that is related to a product, I'm looking for like a new window or a new light or a new table or a new cushion or a new couch, right? And they really like it, then I might go and check it out there. Or I might get an ad that I'm bombarded with on Instagram or on Facebook. So your attention, it goes, it changes from it being tied to real estate. Traffic is no longer tied to real estate as much as where your attention is online. So it's kind of like virtual real estate if you want to think of it that way, but it's really where your attention is online. So if you can get, for example, a Facebook ad in front of a group of people, let's just say moms in their 40s who are shopping for something, or a guy in his late 20s who's shopping for something, you can narrow down the audience via online marketing and you can get right in front of that. And then all of a sudden you are in the prime real estate position to get a heck of a lot of traffic to your website. And not only that, but relevant traffic, right? So it's almost like the ideal real estate, the top of the top of the top. Now that being said, it obviously costs money to reach that kind of an audience, but it's pennies on the dollar compared to if you were to open your own online, your own store, physical storefront, the real estate cost to be able to do that. So when you think foot traffic in the offline world, you usually think it depends on real estate. When you think online world, you think about attention. Where is attention? Is attention on YouTube? Is attention on podcasts? Is attention on Facebook, Instagram? Where are your consumers viewing and where are they spending their attention in their off hours, right? The more that you can understand that and reverse engineer that, you can then get that traffic onto your storefront, and then from there they can browse through and they can decide to buy different products on your website. The name of the game is that attention and driving that attention and traffic to your storefront, and that's when you get a really, really popular online e-commerce store. So first of all, I want to congratulate you for reaching this far in video, because let's be honest, most YouTube videos are pretty short. For you to have spent so much time researching and writing things down and learning, I think, congratulations, that's amazing, just like the attention span it takes to do that. So I hope you took a lot of good value out of this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up so other people know that it is worth their time to spend that. I hope that it's sort of helped you a little bit inch further on your e-commerce journey. You can leave a comment comment down below if you have a question or two, and to subscribe to this channel if you want more content. But that being said, if you would like me to individually review your business idea, if you want to talk a bit more shop and get more into your product niche, I have worked with many different e-commerce owners over the last 8 years. So if you're interested, you can always book a one-on-one coaching call with me at the link down below. So this is an hour-long intensive paid coaching call. It's not for the faint of heart. This is for someone who really wants to heal the real deal. You know, I try not to sugarcoat things. I am a nice guy, but I'm going to tell you how it is, right? I'm going to tell you the strengths and the weaknesses that I see, the potential of your product, and use my experience to kind of gauge that when it comes to that. So you can always book a one-on-one coaching call with me down below. And as well, if you're interested in some other stuff like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, I can tell you a little bit more about how crowdfunding works and that kind of stuff on that call. Thank you for listening to me. My name is Sal, and I will see you next time.